Thanks for tuning in to the I Am More Than podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Wessel, a former Miss Arizona USA, professional model, and founder of More Than Inc. This week's guest is one of the most badass women I've ever met. She's a mom, wife, self-love advocate, Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, entrepreneur, and ultimate girl's girl. In this episode, we talk all about manifestation, stepping outside of your comfort zone, motherhood, building a healthy marriage, and mental health. She's unlocked the power of manifestation and is determined to help her community gain the confidence to go after exactly what they want. I know her wise words are going to make an impact on you, so grab a glass of wine and meet your new best friend, Kristen Gaffney. Welcome to the I Am More Than podcast, Kristen. I'm so excited that you're finally here.
I'm so excited. We have been talking back and forth for, I feel, a couple of months. So to finally connect and see you in person, you're so gorgeous. But thank you so much for having me on.
Of course. I'm so excited just to get to know you better. We were talking before this. We run in kind of similar circles, and I've heard the most amazing things about you. And like you just said, we've kind of been hyping each other up on social media for the past few months. So I'm so excited.
My favorite kind of girl.
Right? You got to be a girl's girl.
Yes, you have to. We can all win. Let's cheer each other on.
Amen, sis. So when I see you on social media, I see this multifaceted mom, wife, entrepreneur, boss babe, body confidence, all of these amazing things that you are. And I think it's really cool just watching how you approach confidence and gratitude and manifesting. And my favorite part of getting to know somebody is really to know, what's your story? How did you get to where you are right now? Because I know there's a story there. So take me back before you got married, before you had kids, before this version and this chapter of yourself. Take me through your confidence journey a little bit.
So, oh God, that's a really good question, because right when you said that, it's things I haven't even thought. I feel like I'm in therapy. I just got brought. Yeah, I just got brought back, and I haven't even thought about this, but like fifth grade, I would say that's what stands out to me.
Wow.
Fifth grade, I always felt like there was like cool girls who were sometimes mean, but I always thought were better than me because they were skinnier or prettier or had nicer things, or their parents got them cooler toys and experiences and the NSYNC CD when it dropped and I couldn't, because we weren't rich. And I think it started then, the comparing. And then to middle school, we had swimsuit parties, and I would see these girls who did gymnastics and everything. They had six packs and perky butts, and I just didn't. And I was a healthy girl, but at that age, you are just so vulnerable to criticism and comparing yourself to others. Fast forward to high school, I definitely had my fair share of bullying. Again, it was from all the girls. I was cool with all the guys, and maybe that's why they bullied me, but I had some bad bullying, like physical, mental, emotional abuse. Yeah, it was horrible. And then fast forward into when I was 24, I was about to turn 24, I was 23. And my best friend and roommate at the time, she had just gone through a breakup. I had just gone through a breakup. She had kind of moved on and met this guy. She's traveling the world. He has this amazing job. Like, she's living this incredible life. And I'm like, how did this happen? How did you go from this to that? And she's like, girl, you got to read The Secret. And it's this book that talks about manifesting. I'd never even heard the word manifest. And immediately I was hooked. And within a couple of weeks, I changed my whole outlook on everything. I really took those words and I didn't just read them, but I started to force myself. I had to force myself to actually practice them. And once I started doing that, it started to become second nature. Met my husband, and then fast forward a couple more years, I did SI swimsuit. And that is really what, like, my confidence was like on its way for years. And then SI just went, it just forced me to be in situations that made me feel entirely uncomfortable, like walking a runway in front of thousands of people after having my second baby, which was 9.5 pounds, mind you, and gaining 60 pounds, and then walking in a bikini. The girl who was scared to be at swimsuit parties is now on a runway. And ever since then, it's almost been a high for me. It's been addictive for me to share that. Like, I was like, wow, I have this secret and I need to tell people about it. I need to tell all girls, all ages about it.
I love that.
It
And
was a
I was
long-winded answer, but
No, I love that answer. And I relate to so much of it. I think it's kind of funny when you look back at, I mean, school feels like it was forever ago, but some of those memories are so burned in your mind.
yeah.
And it really does shape your confidence. And you have to be so intentional about trying to change the way you view yourself.
Yeah.
And so I relate to that on so many levels. And I think that how you talked about The Secret, amazing book, highly, highly recommend it.
Life-changing.
Life-changing book, but you have to implement that. And I think it's very easy for people to talk about this word, this manifesting, and kind of just hope that if you say something and throw it out there, that it just happens. So I love that you implemented it, and now look at your life.
I know. Well, I always say ask, believe, receive. Asking is easy.
Yeah,
Believing is the hard part. And receiving is just going to happen. So that's easy as well. But the believing part and believing in yourself that you're worthy enough to have that or achieve that dream or whatever it is that you're asking for, that's the hard part. And that's where the work really comes in.
totally. And I went to the Sports Illustrated swimsuit show that you walked in. You were in
No
top
way!
16. Oh yeah.
Shut
Well,
up. No
I'm
way.
good friends with Haley Khalil and Camille Kostick and Hunter
Love them.
McGrady. And so I was just there to support my girls, and seeing everybody on top 16 and just how flawless and confident everyone looked on that stage. And I think it's funny because when you strip it back and are like, okay, I'm going to go walk on a stage in front of people, basically naked. I
Yeah.
just gave birth.
Yes.
Take
Like
it or leave it,
yesterday.
right?
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But you looked so confident, you were glowing. And I really do think that a lot of people think that that sounds so scary, because it is scary.
Yeah.
But something happens once you prove to yourself that you can do something you didn't think you could do.
Yes, I was scared out of my mind, and I've got juicy Beyonce thighs, I call them. They
Love it.
jiggle. There is no denying them. There's no denying a photographer who is just going to take your pictures. No edits, no nothing. It's like it's out there. My stretch marks are out there. My whatever these flaws are that society will call them.
Yeah.
And I walked out there, and it's like 30 seconds front to back, and I get backstage, and I'm like shaking. I'm like, I think I just blacked out, but now I understand like the rush. Like it
Yeah.
was exhilarating. It was a huge rush. It was like, I just fucking did that, like it was so cool. And I felt like, wow, something I never thought I could ever in a million years do at the time, like 28 or 29 years old, like old for a model. And I did it. And that was so cool.
You did the damn thing.
Did the
And
damn
you looked great doing it.
yes, girl.
But you did the open casting, which that's even scary. And it does take a lot of courage to put yourself out there, especially you had said you hadn't had modeling experience before
Yeah.
that. First, why did you want to get into it? And second, how did you prepare yourself mentally to put yourself out there like that?
So it's always been a dream, right? Like Sports Illustrated, you grow up, like you go into your friends at their sleepovers and you take their dad's Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazines. And I'm like
Totally.
8, 9 years old, so young, but like kind of interested. I'm like, ooh, boobs, like I'm interested in like what's to come. I want to be a grown up. I can't wait to be 16. So
Totally.
that's like where that started. But I think as I got older and, insecurities in life and society comes in saying, no, you can't do that. You're not 6 feet, you're not 100 pounds, you don't have an agent. I thought I can't do that. No way. And like many people, I was being realistic, as some people say, which will be realistic. You can't do that. And then once I started to believe in myself more and gain confidence, I came out with the swim search. And Camille, who we were friendly with, our husband, now boyfriend, they played together on the Patriots. So there was a connection there. And I saw her do it. And I kind of saw her whole journey. And I was like, wow. Like, and then she went all the way and she crushed it and she's still killing it. I'm so, so proud of her. And I'm her biggest cheerleader. So she's just doing amazing things. And I kind of got inspired, kind of like, if she can do it, I can do it, but I was always too scared. When I saw her submit the video, I was like, hell yeah, girl, do the damn thing. But still, I wasn't mentally confident enough yet. And then the following year, I saw they were doing it again. And I text Tyler, I'm like, should I do it? And he's my biggest cheerleader. Like I'll go back and forth in my mind with things and kind of overanalyze. He's like, do it for the moms. You belong in that magazine. Do it today. And that day he was playing baseball at the time. So I'm by myself with my newborn and my 1.5-year-old at the time.
Oh.
And we're living in a dorm in Penn State dorms because he was playing minor league baseball. So I'm like 28 years old living in a dorm. Okay. No TV, like nothing. And I'm like, screw it. I don't have access to family. I didn't have one single friend there. I was by myself totally. I just got my phone, and then I was probably the only girl not wearing a bikini. And I just did a little selfie video. I'm like holding my baby. He's like throwing up on me as I'm doing this. But I'm like, if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to go on this journey, I need to be authentic and true to myself and what I believe in. Because if you don't, if you try to keep up with other people, or you try to pretend you're someone you're not, eventually that will run out, or you'll get caught up and it's not going to last. So you have to be authentic and unapologetically yourself. And I've done that since the get-go. So I did it then. But again, I don't think I was 110% fully confident, fully ready. I knew I was going to make it to Miami. I knew in my soul I was going to make it to top 16. But to say I knew that year I was going to make it in the magazine, I still had my doubts, and that's on me. So that's just something I've been working on the last 2 years, and I submitted again, and fingers crossed, but I feel ready. I feel ready, and I feel like timing is everything, and everything happens for a reason.
Totally. And there's a huge persistence aspect to that I think a lot of people assume that if something doesn't automatically happen for you, then it wasn't meant for you.
Yeah.
And that's something I respect so much about you. I've seen your submission videos to go back out. Your last one was killer. And I just really respect the fact that you're not giving up on it because you do believe so much. And I think that that's a manifestation key that people need to know, that just because it doesn't happen right away doesn't mean it's not meant for you.
Absolutely. And there's something I listened to, it's by Inky Johnson, and it's a speech, it's called Consistency. And something that really sticks out to me is he said, sometimes it takes 1 year to get that 1 year that will change, or 10 years to get that 1 year that will change your life forever. But you have to keep going. You have to be consistent in your dreams, consistent in your goals. I mean, Tyler has tattooed on his arms persistence or perseverance and determination. So it's like, that's ingrained in us, that's ingrained in our family. And I will be damned if something doesn't happen because I just didn't try. So if I know I give it everything I got and I utilize all my tools, then I'm okay with that no matter what happens.
I love that. And how do you stay mentally strong and committed to this practice and committed to this perseverance? Is it just something that you've made the decision so there's no turning back? Or what are the things that you're doing every day that gets you closer to your goals?
So we say, me and Tyler, we have these big lofty dreams, and we always want to move the dial. So we want to get closer to that dream. If it's not getting us closer to that dream, then the answer is no. And that's something we've really both worked on the last year, saying no to happy hours, drinking with friends, like things that aren't going to help me get closer. I'm going to say no to, because my time is very precious as a mom. Like, they're my priority no matter what. I wake up, I'm changing diapers, I'm making pancakes, I'm taking them to school, I'm doing laundry. Feels like all I do is laundry. So that is my priority in my life, is my family. So the small amount of time I do have, I have to make sure I'm always moving the dial, and I have to be very strategic with what I'm doing, who I'm hanging out with, who I'm connecting with. I always want to make sure whatever I'm doing with my time, it's making me better or moving the dial closer to that dream. So it's really about just keeping the eye on the prize, putting my blinders on, not looking at anyone else, and just focus, focus, focus.
Yeah, that's huge. I feel
and it's
like
not easy.
it's not easy, especially because I do think comparison culture is at an all-time high, especially we're spending more time on our phones. I mean, it's easy to do even when you're not looking at your phone, because we're constantly bombarded by media everywhere, that it's easy to look and be like, well, I don't look like her. So
something someone told me once, and I did this, and I thought it was very beneficial. I unfollowed anyone and everyone who wasn't helping me mentally. So if I saw someone's page, I find myself comparing sometimes, and I've definitely strayed away from that, thankfully, because I started unfollowing so many people. It's not healthy for me as a 31-year-old mother of two who's gone through childbirth and pregnancy and gaining 60 pounds and losing weight and gaining 60 pounds and losing weight. It's not healthy for me to compare myself to a 20-year-old girl. You know, that's just not who's wearing Louis Vuitton. Apparently all 20-year-olds wear Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I was like, I just want to save up for some Taco Bell. Maybe get like a 30 rack of beer and cheap vodka. Like, that was my goal when I was 20. But so I have to be like, that's not me. I'll never going to be that. I never was, I never will be. So I stopped following every single person who wasn't healthy for me mentally. And Instagram's very smart. They know your trends. They know what you look at. So if I'm spending time looking at skinny girls who are 20 in private jets, it's going to show me more girls who are skinny on vacation, you know? But if I look up mental health, if I'm following people like you who are doing so many amazing things, it's going to show me more of that. And that's what I want more of.
Totally. And like you said, your time is so limited. And I
Mhm.
think people need to really realize that we have the exact same amount of hours in a day.
Yeah.
Obviously, your day looks a lot different than people that aren't moms. But at the same time, you have to be able to filter through what you're seeing, who you're talking to, what you're doing. And I think so many people think that that doesn't matter. Who you follow doesn't matter. What you watch doesn't matter.
Oh
And
my
it's
gosh.
like, it runs so deep that you have to really strategize and map out your day so that you're only being influenced by positive things.
I absolutely agree. It's so important to map out your day, especially like I live off my Google Calendar because I have to be so intentional. So I plan out every single, I'm extreme, but I plan out every single minute of my day to make sure I carve out time for myself as well. So carving out time, like every Sunday I sit down and I map out my week. So I make time and I communicate with my husband, like, can I go to the gym at this time? Like I have to make it a priority because as I'm sure people are aware, moms in general tend to give up. They put others before themselves. And I'm the opposite. And some people might disagree, and that's totally fine. Everyone has their own way. I'm not going to judge any mom for their style. But I'm number one. I'm number one in this house. Me and my husband are second. And then it goes my kids because I have to be the happiest. I have to be fulfilled in my dreams and my goals outside of the home, outside of being a parent. And when that happens, it trickles down. It's like a company. Like if you have a good leader, a good CEO who has the best interests of their employees, you're going to have a successful company. So that's kind of how I look at my family is like a
You're so
business.
right.
So if I'm happy, I'm a better wife. I can give more. I can be just so much more loving and giving. And in return, our kids see a happy marriage. They see a team that we're raising them. Like you don't think about it as a mom, but I'm trying to be intentional because I grew up and I saw like things I should have never seen or conversations I should have never heard. So I want to be a rock for my husband and let my kids see that. And in turn, I think that is being a good mom.
I think that's being a great mom.
Oh,
And I think that that's something that a lot of women, I love what you just said, that you're number one. And I think women, for whatever reason, have this idea that it's selfish to take care of yourself, especially when you do have other people relying on you. It's more selfish to not be selfish with yourself because
yes,
then you're not the best version of yourself. Then people don't
exactly.
get the, like you said, the best wife, the best mom, the best human,
Absolutely. You have to carve out time for yourself and it's not selfish. Or if you want to call it selfish, then fine. Call it selfish, whatever. I don't
right?
if I look good, I feel good, and I'm ready to give. And when I wasn't doing that, when I was putting other people first, when I let my body go, when I wasn't eating right, I felt slumpish. So then mentally, like I believe your mind, your body, and soul are absolutely connected. So you have to take care of those three things in order to take care of others around you.
Yep. I could
Put
not
the
agree with
oxygen
that more.
mask on yourself first. That's
Love
the rule of thumb. Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
And another thing that I admire so much about you is your marriage, because
Yeah.
I think that you've made it very known that that's a number one priority. And I think that that's really important, especially when you're raising children. But you and your husband just seem like you have such a fun, loving, supportive relationship. So tell me a little bit about how you met him and things that you do to make sure that you guys keep a healthy marriage.
So it's kind of a funny story because and this just goes to show how the universe aligns. So I was living in the Stanford area working on a startup, and he was in Pennsylvania, I think, playing baseball, decided to come back his last year. So we weren't even in the same city, and he came back. I was about to move, but decided to stay. And both weren't looking for a relationship. Long story short, met at the bars one night, and
Love.
it's a wrap. So we went every single day. I haven't gone a day without speaking to each other since, but we definitely had our fair share of struggles. I mean, I was introduced to the football world. That was something that was new to me. And it has its pros and cons with that. And then we did a year-long distance, and that's definitely a challenge for any relationship. And of course, he went all the way to Boston, like the farthest team away, but we made it through. And I think that really made us stronger. And I think something that we really pride ourselves on is communication. Good, bad, and ugly. We always say how we feel because the last thing you want to do is build something up and then explode. And that's not what we do. He's a psychology major. I grew up going through a lot of therapy because of my parents. When you do this, I feel that very non-combative. So we don't yell, we don't raise our voices. At the end of the day, like, I know his heart is good and is in the right place, and same with him. We would never, ever in a million years hurt each other. And I think that gives us some peace and confidence as well. When he goes out, I'm like, go out, stay out. You sure you don't want to go out and get beers with the boys? Like, I won't bug you. Like, I have so much confidence in him. And he never puts himself in a situation that would make me feel otherwise. So that communication, and then also making our fun, spicy life alive. It's easy to say, oh, I can't go out because I have kids. I'm like, screw this. We're getting a babysitter. Yes, it's going to cost us money, whatever. It's worth it to have that one-on-one time. It's worth it for me to put makeup on, get dolled up and get all sexy for him, and for him to see me and be like, damn girl. Like, I think date nights is really like one key of our marriage, is having that one-on-one time. We try to do something with another couple so that we're social. And then we try to do something by ourselves, even if it's just a walk. Like, sometimes we walk to the mailbox. We're like, oh, this is a fun date. Like just having some time, even if it's 10 minutes without your phone, and just being present with each other is just a way to love.
Yeah. And it sounds like you guys are equally as committed to making sure that you guys have a very healthy relationship.
Yeah. We always said since the beginning that we're batting the same average. Like, we really put ourselves at equals, which I think is so important, especially when we're going after such lofty dreams. We support each other. So not one of us thinks that one is better than the other. We definitely have our roles, but there's so much respect there. So yeah, I'm so grateful for him every day. And
I love that.
He's so gorgeous.
You guys are the most gorgeous couple ever. Ever.
Love him. Obsessed.
You guys are the best. And there's a lot of women that listen to our podcast that will talk about trying to be in a healthy relationship. And there's certain things that they will put up with that, in my opinion, to have a healthy relationship are some no-nos. So I think that when you have your standards very, very high, then whoever rises to meet those standards is worthy.
100%.
Do you have a similar opinion to that?
A couple times, and I have some funny stories with that, but there's been a few times in our relationship, mostly in the beginning, where I gave him an ultimatum. I'm like, before we were dating, I was like, you talking to any of the girls? Maybe. Well, not anymore. Or bye. See ya. I'm out. Like, that's it. It's a wrap. Best of luck.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's actually sexy. Now, there's ways to go about it and ways to present, don't be a crazy psycho, but in a way that comes from a place of self-respect. Like, this is where I hold myself. These are my standards. You can meet them or you don't have to. There's plenty of fish in the sea. There are many men out there. And I think that's a sign of confidence and self-respect and self-worth. And I think that is the most attractive thing a woman could be, is confident in herself. Everyone has their own journey. Some take years and years to find themselves, but working on your confidence is number one. I always say me before we. You need to focus on yourself, feel the most confident in yourself before you can have a relationship. Because if you're insecure and you're going into a relationship or with a guy, you're asking to get walked on, and they recognize it. It's just like my kids. Like, if I tell them to do something and they don't do it and they get away with it, well, they're going to keep doing it. So that's exactly like guys. You have to train them. I say guys are like puppies. You have to reward them when they're doing good and say no, bad boy, when they're doing bad. It's communication.
It's communication. And it's something that you said earlier too, just speaking your mind and not letting things build up. And there's a lot of times that I think that people will try and push things under the rug and like just let it fester. And then like you said, they blow up.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important to be able to speak your mind. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with being honest.
There's nothing wrong with it. And the right guy or the right partner will respect that and reciprocate it and have an open communication, like, conversation with you. And if not, see you later.
Then he's probably not the right one.
He's probably not the right one. And we've all had our fuck boys. It's okay. We've all had them.
Exactly.
I've had them.
You need them because then you grow from that.
You absolutely need them to recognize the red flags in the future before you meet your unicorn.
There you go. I see you call him that a lot, your unicorn, and I love that.
Yeah, he's special. He's a mystical creature. Comes out late at night at bars. They exist. And I tell girls that all the time. Good men exist. Good athletes exist. There are really, really amazing men out there. You just have to be patient and have those standards.
Yeah. Standards are everything. And now
Yeah.
you guys have two kids together. And I know a big part of you chasing your dreams is to show that example to your kids, which I think is so huge. And how
Yeah.
old are they now?
So 4 and 2.5, 4.5 and 2.5.
Wow. You got
Yeah.
your hands full.
Yes. And they're boys and they're crazy and they want to fight and they want to show me their ding dings all the time. Are weird things. Boys are strange and all they do is eat. That's all they do is eat. All I do is feed people and do their laundry.
I love it. I bet you didn't imagine that's what your life would be a couple of years ago.
I knew I was going to be a boy mom. I just knew in my gut. But I was like, holy crap. But it kind of forces you to chill out too, because I can be pre-kids, OCD, want to control things, make sure everything's spick and span. And with boys, especially kids in general, but boys especially, they'll either give you a heart attack and you're going to freak out and lose your mind every day, or you can say, this is what it is. And I'm going to sit back, pour myself a glass of wine and watch the free entertainment and just be grateful no one broke a leg today. You have to have an easygoing mindset or you drive yourself crazy.
Yep, totally. And I like that you said in the very beginning that you take care of you first and that you do map out time to go to the gym. But what are some things that you do to really make sure that your mental health is in check? Like when you feel yourself getting a little bit more upset over things you normally wouldn't, do you take a step back? And what are some things that kind of gets you back to where you normally are?
So beyond like surface level, shallow things like facials and gym and things like that, I definitely make a priority, but I'm a normal human and I have bad days. I have days where I get in funks. I tend to close off or overthink things in my brain or make things a bigger deal. So when that happens, which it absolutely does, I use this tool called the Choose Again method. It's from Gabrielle Bernstein's. She's incredible. It's very similar to The Secret. It's Super Tracker. But first, I'm very emotionally aware, thank God, through a lot of reading and communication, conversations like this. But you, one, recognize the feelings. You have love up here, fear down here. And say I'm down here today. Recognize what that emotion is. Acknowledge it. Forgive yourself for feeling this way because it's just a moment. It's not a bad life. It's just a bad day. And then taking a deep breath, maybe meditating, and then choosing again what I want to focus on, which is ultimately is love. So what makes me happy? Sometimes I'll write everything I'm grateful for. And it could be as simple as I have 2 eyes to see. I am so grateful I can see. Not everyone can see. Last night we opened our fridge and it's totally full. I'm like, oh my God, we are so blessed. Like, it's cheesy, but I say gratitude is the attitude. So the more I can be thankful for, the more I will receive. Something that was also helpful for me a couple years ago is realizing that your emotions, that you have full control of your emotions, good or bad. And it's kind of like you're on a train and you're going down this path, but you don't like where you're going. So you can simply say, I decide to get off this train. I don't want to have any part of it anymore. And I want to get on a new train. So I choose to be happy. And you kind of have to force yourself, but once you just keep going over and over, eventually you truly believe in it and then you're happy again.
I love
I do a lot of self-help if you can't tell.
No, I love that. And you're speaking my love language here because all of this, I'm like, yes, I need more and more and more. And it sounds like you have a past there where you know how you feel when you implement all of those tools into your life and you know what it feels like to not implement all of that.
Yeah. I mean, so growing up, my mom is bipolar, and this is something I never even talked about until this year, I think. She really finally got the right medication and the right help and everything. But for so many years, I was forced to be in situations that were no situation a child should ever be in. I mean, I'd be at college parties and I'd get a phone call from my dad. Oh my gosh, your mom and this and that. And mental health is something I think the good news with COVID is, as terrible as it is, I think people are talking about it more. Yeah. So I was forced at a young age to recognize very high and very low emotions. And I was just exposed to a lot. So I was forced to deal with it or try to understand it at a young age, and ultimately led me here. I think I'm a better communicator because my parents were. I'm more aware because my parents were. I'm more loving and affectionate because my parents were. So I could have gone down a different path, but I chose to do the opposite and be better because of it. And it was absolutely a thought out choice.
I love that. First off, thank you for sharing that. And also, you really took your mess and turned it into a message.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people hold on to this victim
Yeah.
part where you very much can. And a lot of the time, things that happen in your childhood do shape how you treat others in the future, how you treat your children, how you treat your husband, how you treat yourself.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you made the conscious decision
I
to
have to.
then, yeah.
Yeah. Because before I made that decision, it was stress. It was, why is this happening? It was that victim. And I hated it. I hated feeling that way. I hated feeling like I couldn't control what's going on around me. Maybe that's why I clean so much. I feel like I can control. But I just made the choice, yeah, to be better because of it, be a better sister because of it, be a better wife because of it, be a better daughter, and ultimately try to be more empathetic. Because I grew up playing sports, I was kind of just always strong-willed and felt like I could do anything by myself. I did all the group projects by myself. So to feel like I couldn't control that, I needed to let go of what I couldn't control and be more empathetic to things other people were going through. And I think that really led me down a great path because I was more understanding of my mom. I was able to help her more, help my dad more, being her partner who's with her through thick and thin after 35 years. God bless his
Wow.
soul.
Wow.
um, and just be more aware of mental health in general. So that's something I'm really trying to be better at through people who struggle. And then also on the other side, people who are winning. I think it's hard for us, especially as women in society, to have genuine love for other people who are doing better than you. You know, people want to clap when you're doing well, but never better than you. And that's something I made it my goal this year to truly, genuinely cheer people on without I wish I did that, or why didn't that happen to me, or why didn't I get that paycheck, or whatever it is. Now I'm like, hell yes, girl, get after it. I'm so proud of you. I'm going to pump you up. And I think that makes me actually happier.
I love that you brought that up because that's huge. And it's a conscious decision. I don't think it comes naturally. Like you said, it's in our human nature that it's
Yeah.
easy to be like, oh, good for you. But
Yeah.
like, when's my turn? You
Exactly.
know?
Yeah.
And I think that that's such an amazing thing to be intentional about
Yeah.
because once you genuinely are happy for other people, it enhances you in so many different ways.
Oh my God.
And
Yes.
putting out those good vibes out there, it will come back.
100%. I believe in that. It's real. I feel better when I can feel genuinely better for other people, because envy, there's guilt, there's all these negative emotions that are natural as humans to have. And if I can just get rid of a couple, that would be great.
Totally. Totally. I'm trying to make life easier, not
Exactly.
harder.
Not harder.
Not harder at all. You and your husband also launched a health company,
We
correct? Can
did.
you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, I have the products over here, but it's Aventera Health. So basically, it's a subscription where it's all natural, vegan, organic, everything. It's nothing made in a lab. You know, it's all basically vitamins. We have two, which is an AM. It's the on switch, and the PM, which is an off switch. Something to
Hmm.
get your day going. We might call it like an Adderall substitute, something that's natural and not going to crack you out or have a bad crash. You can still eat on it. So have that hyper focus, especially as a mom, it's been huge for me. I take it with coffee, and then at night, it's something to just let you relax, you know, put your shoulders down, loosen your jaw, and just totally relax and have like a rock solid sleep. So it's been a lot of fun. We've been live for about 2 months. We have an amazing team, and it's been fun. I mean, it was our little baby in the pandemic, so we could either drink all the wine in the house. We did that. So we're like, screw this. What do we do with our time? And let's build a company. So it's been doing
I
really well. I'm
love that.
very, very excited.
That's awesome. Well, I'll link all that information in the bio in the show notes too. So if anybody wants to go sign up, that
Aventura
sounds
House, baby.
that's amazing. And I love that you said like you could have just drank all the wine in the house, which did happen,
Yes.
but also use this time to really build something. And it sounds like you and your husband both are very driven people. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
and I love
It's a
that.
blessing and a curse because we want to do so much, but there's only so much time and so much resources. So we really, again, going back to planning out my day, just have to be very intentional with what we do and make sure we're not doing too much.
Yeah.
But he pushes me. He is on my case sometimes and pisses me off, but I know it's in a good place. And I would not be the woman I am today, as confident and as driven as I am, without him. Zero doubt in my mind. I give him so much credit. He
That's
makes me feel like
amazing.
the hottest, baddest bitch in the room every time.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you guys have been married for a while now, right?
We've been together 8 years. We've been married next month 3.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
You
we
need
did
a
things all
partner
in
like
short
that.
order too. So we just go with the flow and do our own thing. We're internal hippies.
I love that. Well, you guys are meant to be.
We really are. You just got to go with the flow.
And it sounds like he enhances everything that's already there deep within you. Sometimes it's really nice to have a reminder, someone there that's actually telling you stuff that you do know about yourself, but that you forget.
Of course, and that's natural. We always forget, and it's nice to have someone there who is just cheering me on wholeheartedly and coming. There's nothing in it for him except to watch his wife succeed. So it's genuine and real. So yeah, I'm grateful for him every day. Yeah.
I love that. And going back to confidence and body positivity, I know that that's a really big key to everything that you are putting out there, especially with Sports Illustrated. You want to represent the moms. You want to represent really everybody
Yeah.
that ever felt like they couldn't do something. Can you tell me a little bit about your
Yeah.
goals going into it and your why?
I mean, I think it all started on the runway where I couldn't edit that. These are people I don't know in Miami taking pictures of me in a bikini with my stretch marks. So, and I have stretch marks, and it was a change for me to see my body. I mean, the first time I was pregnant, I gained a lot of weight. I gained 60 pounds. And I remember crying to my girlfriend, like, this isn't me. Like, who is this? This isn't my body. And it was strange. As women, we go through things. We go through pregnancy. We go through puberty. We go through menopause. And guys never have to go through that. They might get a beer belly here and there, we go through a ton of hormonal changes in our bodies. And it was the first time I was forced to recognize true physical change in my body and deal with it and recognize it. So I wanted to share that story, one, because I went through my own journey and I saw how much work it took. I saw how much self-help I needed to do for myself. I saw how surrounding yourself with the right people is so important. And I kind of, like, selfishly, I get joy in sharing this message with other women because I didn't have that growing up. I had girls call me fat. I had girls who made fun of my clothes or whatever I was doing or the car I was driving, my teeth, whatever it was, people made fun of me. And I don't want any other girl to feel that way. I didn't have anyone to look up to in magazines. I had a Victoria's Secret models who are gorgeous and they're naturally beautiful and everything, but there was never me. There was never just a normal girl with a normal body. And I hate to say normal because what is normal?
Yeah.
But that middle section, which is like 80% of America, that size 8, like that 150 pounds, like, why are we scared to say how much we weigh? Like, I weigh 150 pounds. That's how much I weigh, damn it, and a lot of it's in my boobs. but I never saw that growing up. So I feel like it's almost my duty with the small platform I have to share what's real so that girls, especially young girls, all ages, honestly, I have women who are 50 years old who are messaging me to see what real is and to see stretch marks and to see cellulite and to see a normal human with normal resources and what it's like and the hard work, how I go to the gym 5 days a week and I'm still not perfect. And it's okay because perfect does not exist. So I just really want to, one, with Sports Illustrated, I want them to show the average American female body. Yeah. I want them to show a mother. They need to show a mother so bad because I think society especially, teaches us at a young age what happens after 25. What happens when you're not a famous model or actress? You just shrivel up and die. You have kids, so you have no life. You have no sex life. You have no body. Fuck that, mm-hmm. I just started my life. I just started my confidence journey. And I just want to use my voice to tell other women that you can start at any time. You can start at 16, 26, 60, whatever it is. Like, take care of yourself. And I don't know, I just really want to pump up other women and I want them to pump up me. And I just want to do all things girl power. And I just really want to show them that whatever flaws society say have, someone thinks is beautiful and someone wishes they had.
That was a mic drop moment, girl. It really was. Like, so perfectly summed up. And it's so true. I mean, representation matters.
Yeah.
And we all are different. We all look different. So we all need to be represented differently.
Yeah.
And I think there's something really empowering about just seeing an average woman with stretch marks that's not a size 0, loving life and being confident because people assume, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, nobody said that, and we were trying to be perfect.
No.
And I think that when we were growing up, you tried to be perfect because you didn't know that it was okay not to be.
Yep. you had to strive for perfection. I actually just thought about this song. It's by Alanis Morissette. That's how old I am. And it's called Perfect. And it talks about just striving to want to be perfect and how unachievable that is and how down you feel. Of course, Alanis Morissette's all emo, but down if you're not perfect, and I just want to be myself. And once I accepted myself, flaws and all, like it was a game changer. And I always say with women, we are snowflakes. No two of us are exactly the same. And that should be celebrated. Yeah. Not put down. So we should all be celebrated. Stop trying to look like each other and just embrace and be the best versions of ourselves, whatever that may be.
I love that. And you've cultivated a really powerful group of women that are cheering you on, that want to see you win, probably because you're doing the exact same thing for all the other women that are in your life. Yeah. How did you grow your base, your following right now to create it into this positive community that it is? Just by being vulnerable?
I think once I let my guard down and first of all, I really started to dive into branding. I'm a marketing major, so I wanted to be smart with what I was doing. First, I was really excited because a brand sent me free protein bars. I was like, this is awesome.
Right? I've made it.
One, I can have a career around this. And then two, instead of being like maybe other influencers who just show you the clothes they have, I'm like, how can I do this in a positive way? That's something that's passionate, that in my soul. Because when you do something you truly love and are passionate about, you will have joy in that instead of forcing it. Because when you try to do and be something or someone that you're not, it's going to be draining. So I was like, who am I? And I wrote down, I was like, I need to write down 3 things that I am, 3 things that I want to represent. And that's manifesting your dreams, self-love, and body positivity. These things are so important to me. And I think they're so important to other women. And I think that's why women are drawn to me, my brand, I guess, because I speak the truth. I say the ugly stuff. I say the real stuff. I'm talking stretch marks. I'm talking childbirth and breastfeeding and nipples and weird, gross things. And then I'm
real life
insecurities, like real things. And I'm not ashamed of things I'm doing. I just kind of embrace everything. And if you like me, great. If you don't, no problem. Hit unfollow. Like I'm not for everyone, and that's totally cool. So I think just being myself, I hope that gives, I feel like energy is transferable. So if I can be myself, I hope that through somehow a screen in 2020, I can give that gift to someone else to make themselves feel better about themselves.
Totally. And I think it's so important that not only are we selective with who we're following, but who we're engaging with as well.
Yes.
And I think that you've kind of hit that secret little compartment of vulnerability and authenticity. And I think that that's something that really separates you from the pack. And I'm just excited that I was able to get to know you better and that our audience gets to know you, because you're pretty freaking awesome.
No, this has been amazing.
So awesome. Thank you for giving me so much of your time. If everybody wants to follow you, where can they see you?
They can follow me on Instagram at Kristen Llewell. And that's all I got pretty much. I just got a TikTok. God bless my soul. I don't know how to use that thing.
Girl, I can't figure it out for the life of me.
And Instagram's where it's at. Send me a DM, follow, comment, whatever. I would love to follow you back and grow our girl gang and my sisters, as I call them. So we're all sisters. We're all connected, and let's cheer each other on, baby.
Well, we're here cheering you on.
Thank you so much.
So there you have it. I hope you got just as much out of this episode as I did. Please take a second to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. It helps us so much. And remember, you are more than whatever label's been placed upon you. We'll see you next week.